What did we say?
We're doing our intros. So we're saying, "Hi, my name is Kim Innocente."
Oh, that's right. Okay. Oh, we should put this in there. That's funny.
Yeah. This clip,
Hi.
don't delete this clip because this is gonna be a good clip for me when I'm like, this is what it looks like when you're trying to fucking build a podcast.
Yeah, we're just trying to do our thing. Okay.
Send me bloopers. I want bloopers.
Okay, just take like a 5-second pause and I'll say it. That way I can like fade the sound that I can. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. Hi, I'm Kim Innocente.
And I'm Amy. Are you gonna do your
Oh, fuck. I'm sorry. Okay, hold on. I know how to cut all this out now, so it's fine.
Okay, but remember, these are all bloopers that I want to hold on to.
Oh my God. Okay.
Okay,
I should have
reset.
put makeup
One,
on.
two, three.
Hi, I'm Kim Innocente. I'm a licensed real estate agent in Los Angeles County.
And my name's Amy Bullock, and I'm a licensed real estate agent up in Central Oregon,
And this is our podcast, Laughing Our Way Through Escrow.
where we talk all things real estate, mom life, what the hell is going on with our lives, how we manage, and any and all things that come to our minds.
Yeah, yeah. Hi, Amy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Kim?
Good. We had some issues with our intro. I
One of
forgot.
these days it will come naturally to us and we will
Yeah.
just fly through it like
hmm
nothing.
Yeah, I know. My brain locks up and then I'm like, can't think. Um, yeah, so today we wanted to talk about the balancing act of being a real estate agent and having responsibilities and a life and how to like balance them, or in my case, not, which is what I'm struggling with. But first, I would like to start off with Amy's funny story that she told me the other day.
Oh God.
I guess you could just start because I don't even know how to like hint at what this is.
Well, we'll just dive right into it. It kind of ties into this whole time suck, how do we manage time things. And the other
Yeah.
day I was talking to my teammate Molly, and we were going through one of the listings that we have together. And I was just like texting her updates on things. And at one point, I texted her, I'm just sitting here piddling my thumbs, waiting for blah, 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 blah. And she replied back with piddling? Question mark, question mark, question mark. And I was like, yeah, is that weird? And she was like, "You mean twiddling?" And I was like, Google search piddling. And I searched up the definition of piddling, only to find out and realize that piddling means to urinate on or urinate in general. And then all of a sudden, I just had all of these flashbacks of moments in time where I had literally said to friends or family or even clients, like, I'm just piddling my thumbs, just peeing all over my thumbs. Um,
And no one's
yeah.
corrected you this whole time.
No one's corrected me until Molly,
Yeah.
and Molly was the one that kind of made me realize you don't pee on your thumbs, you twiddle your thumbs, you don't piddle your thumbs. And I was like, well, thank
Unless
you,
you have a
because
lot of free time, you might be that bored.
yes, that was
Yeah,
exactly
that's
the
funny.
scenario. Anyways, yeah. So instead of like twiddling my thumbs today, it's kind of just been we were talking about the balancing act of how to be a not a proper, how to be a real estate agent, a mom, a
Mhm.
friend, a wife,
Yeah.
how to juggle all of these roles while keeping the boat afloat. Does that
Mhm.
make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and are we always busy? Are we always like, what does it look like? Well, I have come to realize that I operate best with time blocking. So,
Oh,
way back in the day, I was reading a book about it was by Ryan Serhant. It was the first book he ever wrote, and it's called Sell It Like Sirhan, and he like preached time blocking, and I ignored it for the longest time. And then finally I reached a point in my life where I was like, I can't do this anymore. I have to time block, and I have to set out certain moments of my day for certain things. And my morning schedule is super like set in stone. I have a routine every morning, and that gets um, sets me up for my days. So when it comes to keeping myself afloat, I have to operate in blocks of time for in order for my energy to last, in order to stay sane,
Yeah.
and in order to kind of just successfully or feel like I'm successfully juggling things.
Well, because you can end up spending so much time on one thing unless you like, I mean, I could spend hours on just like social media stuff or trying to figure out a farming whatever advertisement schedule. And so yeah, I agree with that. You have
Yeah,
to
no,
have
it
some
gets
type
really
of
difficult. You have,
boundary.
yeah, because I mean, the hard thing about social media these days is that it's a key component to any successful business.
Yeah.
I would argue that if you don't have a strong social media presence as a business, you're probably not doing as much business as you could potentially bring in, which is one reason why we started this podcast. We were both just like, let's fucking do it this year. We're gonna
Hmm.
go balls to the wall, and here we are in the middle of our podcast, but also like piggybacking our ideas in terms of marketing for our real estate. You
Yeah.
successfully convinced me to unlock my Instagram
Yeah,
profile.
you've gone whole hog, I've
Oh
noticed.
God, I
I
have.
love it. It's great.
And it's so hard for me because first of all, it's weird. I know I've said this before. It's weird. It's
Yes.
super fucking weird to know that people that I've never met or I don't know can like stalk me on Instagram. That's fucking
Yeah.
weird to me. So I just tell myself, well, social influencers have this as just a daily life. Like people go
Yeah.
back and scroll and all that stuff all the time. And I have to get used to it. But
Yeah, it is. But it's the way of the world now. So,
it is,
if you don't have it,
unfortunately.
it's kind of like you don't exist, quite
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
Um,
I would
yeah.
argue that it is almost it is a necessity. It's not almost, it's totally a necessity these days.
Mhm.
If you don't
It
have
is.
social media, your business is not going to
It's funny because I was telling my
thrive.
husband, that I kind of don't care as much now, but when I first like converted my account to a business account and got rid of the separate account, I was like, everyone thinks I'm probably trying to be like an influencer now, you know? And I mean, I guess I am trying to influence local people to buy houses with me, right?
You totally are an influencer.
But like, if I opened up a bakery and I was now promoting my bakery items in the same way, would people be, and I don't know if they are, but like my guess, my feeling about myself, would people be as judgmental or like I feel as concerned with like people are judging me? Probably not, but like we're still local businesses, like we work in our local communities, but it's just it feels because you're like the product, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? It's weird. I don't know, but
Well, it's also
whatever.
difficult because we work in an industry and we have a role in the field that we work that has also been tied to one of the least liked personas in the country. People fucking hate,
Besides like a pyramid scheme
yeah, besides from
girl
the ML
selling you oils.
multi-level marketing
Yes.
salespeople, like real estate agents in general, are like at the very bottom. Are I think I saw a graphic on this. Real estate agents are like tied with politicians in terms of likability,
Nice.
and it's true. I can't help it. I oftentimes look at my husband and wonder, how the fuck did I get into this industry?
Do
I
you think
like
that the dislike or whatever, is because of the phony baloney personas, or do you and maybe like the scripts that everybody is taught to say and to like just try to like go after people all the time? Like, do you think like that's what
I
it is?
I think that's a part of it. I don't think that's the whole thing. I think the other component to it is that, you know, there's opportunity. This could be a very lucrative industry for people. And the unfortunate side of things is there are really shitty agents out there that
Yeah.
are truly only in it for the money. And it's just like when you have a bad experience one time at a place that you frequent, you will always remember that bad experience. Like you could go 1,000 times and only recall a couple of times that you had a great time, but you will always recall that really shitty experience.
Yeah.
And I think that the negative connotation that has been surrounding the name real estate agent or broker or realtor is a part of those moments in time where people just have really shitty experiences with either a really shitty real estate agent, or b someone who really just doesn't know what they're doing and they're faking it and they're not quite making it.
And I think when you
Um,
combine it with oh gosh, I just had a brain fart. If you you combine it with like the fact that everyone thinks it's like super easy money and then you have a bad experience or whatever, I think that
mhm.
those two things kind of put a taste in someone's mouth where they are like, "Oh, this person was just in it for themselves and this is just like an easy money." I mean, you saw all those people get their license during COVID thinking like, "Oh, this is just," and I guess
Oh
at the
yeah.
time it kind of was that like, "Oh, this is just such easy money," when it's not
It's
always
not easy.
easy. I don't think it's easy at all.
No, this is not easy. This is one of those jobs where you do not get paid until the property
Till it
has
closes.
closed. You are working 100% for free until the property closes on escrow. And that is only if you didn't have to do anything um, during the transaction. I can't count, I've had a couple of transactions in my lifetime where I literally, at the end of the day, made nothing
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
because you're just trying to at some point in time, like I mean Jesus, for this for one, here's an example. I had a transaction. I was the listing agent and there was a tenant in place, and she was an awesome tenant. Like she was such a great person. Like we ended up getting really close over the time during this transaction, because she was also from Texas and I was the only one. The landlord, not the landlord, the property manager wasn't helping her find a new place. The property manager was just kind of like washing their hands clean. And so I was literally driving to um, apartments with her or places that she could rent with an application just to vouch for her to as a renter. And she couldn't find a place, so I ended up putting her up in a hotel for a month, which was 90% of my commission that for that transaction. And I didn't
That's
have to do
really great.
that, but we wanted
Yeah.
it closed and we wanted it to get done. And so she stayed in the hotel and ended up moving back to Texas. And now she's like she's got like a catering business down in the Dallas area now. She's like,
Oh, good for her.
I know she's, I guess, really taken off. It's awesome.
Good.
Um, but I lost every cent of that uh,
Yeah.
commission because she didn't have money to move out all of the junk, and I had to hire a junk hauler. I had to hire movers to move her stuff out because she had one of these. I don't know if you've ever seen these, but she had one of these beds that was like a huge pine or oak bed,
Mhm.
and they weigh like 1,000 pounds to move. So
Yeah.
we had to hire some guys to come out, and she was
Mhm.
trying to get her money squirreled away to pay for her first month's rent. So in between us going to places that she was trying to rent out, we were also trying to get the property cleared and to get her stuff out so that we could at least close on time. It was just, you just find yourself in these scenarios that, like me as a person, I very easily could have just left it and said, well, you're on your own. You got to figure out how to get out. I'm not paying anything. You need to leave. But I just couldn't do that as a human being.
Yeah.
I could
Mhm.
not sit and watch this um innocent bystander, really, because she was just a
Yeah.
renter who'd been in that place for quite a while. Um, I just couldn't leave her without a place. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
But
So,
then
I
it's
mean,
like, and it's, you did the right thing, but it's like those stories don't get told a lot where it's like you either make no money or you make, I don't know,
maybe $1,000.
yeah, if that, with all the time you spent and everything because you gave it, and that's the hard part, is that when you're working so much and you don't know when you're going to get paid or if you are going to get paid, it just like, I don't know, it's just easy for me, it's just easy to like work, 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 work because I'm like, at some point this is going to pay off.
Mm-hmm.
Um
Yeah.
and
I
that's what,
mean,
like,
you get to, like, especially on listings, because on listings, all the money goes out the door before anything comes in.
mhm,
Like, you're paying for marketing, you're paying
yeah,
for all the fees
the boat
for
I'm in right now. Yeah, I just
yeah,
sent out
you
like
are.
500 postcards. That's not
None of it is cheap.
cheap.
No, and like the listings are, yeah, I'm not spending half of my days driving around from house to house to house, but
Mhm.
I am spending a lot of my money to make sure that this house gets out to all the masses in every method that I can think of.
Yeah, and if they choose not to sell in a week, whatever,
You're SOL. You're
yeah,
SOL. You are
and so
out of, yeah, I think that's the hardest part about real estate is that people don't realize that it's not like the TV shows,
yeah.
not like the TV shows at
I've
all.
been on one, remember, they tell you what to say.
Oh yeah. I forgot. Kim should
It's
probably have this
not.
conversation, take over this
Yeah.
conversation. She has been, what show was that?
It had, like, a pilot, and I think that's as far as it got. It was called Flipping Buddies on the DIY, network, and so I got, like, an email, and my broker at the time, I had a different broker, she was like, "That sounds like it's fake," and in my mind, I'm like, "There's no way this could be fake," and it was like, "We'd like you to come on this TV show," and I was like, and I was the only agent at the time, like, talking about, after this, we'll get back to our topic, but talking about social media. I had a separate Instagram account. At the time, it was called Kim the Realtor. I have since lost that name,
Yeah,
which
you
is a
did.
bummer because that was a really good, name. And no one in the Antelope Valley where I was living and working, at the time, there no agents, maybe 3 of us, I don't even know, were using Instagram, and so I was, like, the only one on the hashtags of, like, Antelope Valley real estate, whatever, and I think that's how they probably found me because I was posting all the time. But, yeah, they had us go in and pretend like I brought my friend's mom and pretend like she was my client. And we walked in and I dressed real nice and she wore whatever and we toured the house and like they told us where to stand and
It was
all the
scripted. It
things.
was all
Yeah.
scripted.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
mean, like in
God.
some stuff they would be like come up with your own words, but not everything. Like, I
No.
saw some people kinda, like, lock up, and they were like, they were features that they definitely wanted you to point out, like,
Mhm.
shiplap wall was, like, definitely, like, a keyword that we were all told to say.
Can
"You're
you
gonna walk
please
through
can you
here,
please make sure you say shiplap wall as you
shiplap."
walk through this property?
Yeah, mhm, yeah, but anyways, we'll get back to the time suck, though. So, like, with, like, the task volume, so you are, like, for me, I sent out those 500 postcards. I mean,
Mhm.
like, are you doing farming?
I mean, in a way, yes. I send out monthly mailers, snail mail,
Yeah,
um, to certain parts of the area that I live in, which I guess you could consider that
yeah,
farming. But really, my goal is just with that, it's not necessarily to farm. It's more so that if any of those people, um, for whatever reason, happen to come across somebody looking or needing or talking about selling or buying or how, I just want to be the first name that pops to their mind.
Yeah.
And they can be like, oh, there's this agent that mails me these flyers every month and she's super annoying when she does it, but I
But
don't
she's
care.
consistent.
I am very consistent.
Yeah.
I do it every month. Hold on real quick.
It's okay. If you don't know, farming is basically where an agent targets an area and they market to this area or set of homes or whatever it is, consistently, typically 1 to 2 times a month. It can be very time consuming, sometimes very costly, depending on what you do. But that's kind of what we're talking about here is targeted homes that we've selected or neighborhoods that we're
And there's like a
consistently
science to it.
advertising.
Like there's a whole like science to figuring out who's likely to sell at what point in time and all of these things because
That
AI
can
just
be
picks
such a
it.
time suck too, by the way, like
Oh
to
my
look at
God.
all of those houses and like we just did this with our 30 home valuation report
Yes, we
that
did.
dropped out.
Which we should probably address that today. And talk about how it went
Yeah,
for
okay.
each other.
Yeah, we
Um,
can do it maybe at the do you wanna do it at like do you wanna talk about it now or at the end?
oh, I don't care.
Okay.
Well, let's just talk about it now real quick.
Yeah, okay. So it goes in with farming because I've decided to farm those homes. There's 30 of them.
hmm When
But
you say farm, are you still actively touching those
every month.
houses?
Yeah,
Awesome.
every
Okay.
month. So, I dropped off the CMAs to their door. I don't like to knock because I feel like that's very intrusive. So I
I get
did like
that.
my St. Patrick's Day styled ones. It's here in Canyon Country that I'm targeting. And I dropped them all off. And then last month I sent them all Dodger calendars. And then this month I'm probably
Brilliant.
gonna do like a door hanger. I have some that I've had forever that I kind of need to get rid of. So I'm gonna do door hangers to all of those. And then yeah, follow up with a letter next month.
Ooh,
I want to do it through the end of the year at least. But
okay,
I
I'm
feel
gonna
like the door
try.
drop offs, it's so much more cost effective because mailing,
Yeah.
can add up, especially with
I
the
had to do
postcodes.
mailing on the ones that I picked were all properties that have like really long driveways and I was like I'm not going to
Right.
drive up to this person's house
Hmm.
through their quarter long mile driveway. I just mailed it to all of mine. Which it was only like $50. Not
Yeah.
terrible, but still. And then I
Yeah.
lost my stamps and I thought I had to go back and buy more. And as I'm talking to the guy about like, I need to order more stamps. I did 5 of these and I lost them. I bought all of my stamps and I'm like counting them and I find my stamps sandwiched in between. I'm like, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Do you mail out to like expireds too?
No, I I don't do expireds and I don't do withdrawals. Only because I have a friend of mine down south in Bend. When I say down south, I mean in Bend, that does that. She mails out to
Mhm.
those, and I'm just not interested in it. Her success rate hasn't been too large with
Because
it, and
everyone's getting the
uh,
same.
yeah. And then again, going back to like my time, I want to do um, income driven tasks that I know are important right now. And so I think if I did expireds and stuff, it would be only because I don't have the time. I've got the time to do them. And I
Yeah.
just don't have the time to start that up right now. I feel, I mean, at the beginning of last week or the end of the week before, somewhere around there, I felt like my head was barely above water in terms of keeping up with all the balls in the air that I was trying to juggle between all the clients that I have that are actually like moving into active status. When I say active status, I mean that they're ready to either pull the trigger to buy a house or pull the trigger to sell their house. And so I was just barely keeping my head afloat over the last few weeks. But now, as of like this past weekend, I've got Like my listing, I have a new listing that went live last week. We've got a coming soon that's hopefully going to go live at the end of this week, but I'm co-listing that one, and it's just so nice to have a second set of hands sometimes
Yeah.
because I can't get to it all, and I've realized I can't get to it all.
Yeah.
Um, but you just kind of my time gets more and more valuable the busier I get. And now I'm finally getting to a point where I'm like, okay, everybody that needs to be under contract is under contract. Everybody that is coming soon or ready to pull the trigger has either pressed pause, or we're waiting for something like photos to come in, or there's like
Yeah.
a room to breathe right now, which feels really, really good. So,
Yeah. I've been doing some expireds, but I was more selective because it is true. Like once a listing, the listing contract ends and they don't accept a buyer, they get hammered by every agent that wants it. So I went back 2 to 3 years and I
ooh,
looked at expireds that never sold. And so I've
ooh,
picked 30 of those and they all get the same letter every month. And I've just been mailing consistently to them. And there's not that many when you go back that far and then figure out that was time consuming too. Like who sold, who hasn't sold, who like has the equity that it even makes sense to like
mm,
advertise to, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
mm-hmm,
Type of stuff. So, or like two, and then I kind of narrowed it down further if the ones that had like really shitty photos. Cause I'm like, that's like a very, like,
oh, like someone went in
one
with their
thing, your
phone,
house, yeah, may have been overpriced, but I feel like that's a conversation we'll have later. Let's send a letter talking about how your photos were not
sucked.
professionally done, or
Yeah,
there's staging issues that are very simple to fix. And so
yeah.
those I kind of made a short list. So we'll see. I don't know if anything will come of it. I've been doing
Well,
it
it'll be
since
fun to
January, but
see how it unfolds over time. The
yeah,
second you get somebody to respond, you better
I will. But
make
I
that
did. I had to be
announcement.
more selective on that list. Like you don't want to just because a listing expires, I don't necessarily want to go after it. I had
Yeah.
one time back in like I think it was like 2016, 17. I went after an expired listing. I was like I hadn't had my license a year or two. And this guy I didn't look at the history. He had just listing expired for some reason. The agents never renewed contract. Another like red flag. Another agent lists it, can't sell it. So I, of course, get hired. I cold called this guy because I cold called people back then. I don't do that. I don't think the rules are super weird now, anyways. But and he was super easy to list. He wanted too much for his house, which was another red flag. And then anytime we got an offer in that was close to like within like a couple $1,000 maybe, or an asking offer, but they wanted him to pay for a home warranty, like stupid stuff, he would
Yeah.
just decline it. And I
Oh,
realized that he just liked to have an agent listing his house. I don't understand like what his deal was. So that's something that I learned is like look back at the history and see because it was like every couple months listed, unlisted, listed, unlisted. I just
really?
didn't know he was a special.
He was a serial lister.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. And then one agent even called me and they were like, "Oh, you got his listing now. Have you like figured out like his game?" And I was like, "Uh, I think so." But yeah. And then he continued after I canceled it. Like we canceled it. He of course
Kept
hired.
going.
Um But
Crazy.
yeah, I feel like all of these things can just be super big time sucks that like especially like I work from home most of all the time. And you don't always, but you could. It's just like hard to turn it off or you don't have clock in, clock out hours. So if you wanted to stay at the office until 8 o'clock at night, like you could. It's hard to have like boundaries
Mhm.
of when to
Mhm.
start and like stop
Yeah.
sometimes, especially if you've been enjoying yourself so much with all your marketing activities as I have
Mhm.
been.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have.
Um,
I learned
have to
early
shut off.
on into my career like what my threshold is before my family life starts to suffer. So
Yeah.
now when I get to a certain point of busy, I know I have to pull out or back off or bring on
Help.
somebody to help me out
Yeah.
in that
I know. I
form.
feel like I'm still figuring that out too, because for the longest time I didn't have kids and my husband's schedule is weird. And so I just worked all the time. It didn't bother me. And then I got pregnant during COVID, had my daughter during COVID. I didn't take any time off because it was crazy,
Yeah.
crazy, crazy. Um, and so now, and then I took a break from work, as we know. And so now I'm like doing all this and like, I'm like, oh wait, someone still has to do the laundry. Or like, who's cooking dinner tonight? Like
Yes.
my husband doesn't get home till like late sometimes, or like whatever the case is, or like I'm doing an open house. And my husband's like, but I had a barbecue planned, and I'm like, like I can't ever. It's hard to like organize your time, and so I'm kind of figuring that out, I guess now.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um,
Yeah. No,
so
that's exactly it. That's exactly it. I feel like when you add the layer of having kids in a family life,
it's
it
changed it all.
changes the dynamic. Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Like my kids now, we have soccer practice every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and games either Saturdays or Sundays or Saturdays and Sundays. And so Mondays are like the only time that we as a family don't have something going on that
Yeah,
night. And you just have like some clients are super awesome and they get it and they understand when you sit there and say, "Hey, I got to go take my son to soccer," or "I've got to pick up my daughter from this and drop her off at this." And they're totally cool with it. And then there are also some agents, or not agents, some clients that just don't understand and they don't give a fuck. And those often, I don't work with everyone, but I
yeah,
work with the ones that I work well with, and the ones that I work well with understand that I've got kids, and I will prioritize their business of buying or selling to an extent, and
right.
it will never overcome my family life. My family life, I
Yeah,
have learned, needs to stay on top. And then my work can come through and trickle down and go from there. But
yeah.
it's really the balance between work life in this industry, because there is no turn off switch.
No, I told you I'm gonna be whatever. I was working with an agent, I want to be vague. And she was trying to contact me at like 10:30 at night about something that nothing is ever that urgent, mind you, also, like at all. But it's just like there's no boundaries. Like the agents don't have any boundaries ever. A lot of times your clients don't have any boundaries, and it's just like it's hard.
You have to make the lines boundaries. You have
Yeah,
to
and
draw the lines.
in the beginning when I became a mom, I had a really hard time with that, like with my clients of being like, no. But now I just tell them like after 7:30, like unless it's urgent, I don't answer my phone.
I push it to 9 mainly because I mean, I'll watch some TV shows. My husband and I only have like 2 TV shows that we will sit and watch together when it's below
Oh,
deck.
stop it. Sorry, I
Um,
muted myself because can you hear him barking?
no, I can't hear him.
Oh, you can't? Okay, good. My dog
No.
is barking a lot right now.
Could you hear Pokey? No? Okay. Pokey was going crazy
Yeah,
earlier.
sorry. I was like, oh no, he's drowning out her voice.
Oh no, I didn't hear you at all.
Okay. Um,
Um,
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
no, you're good. I forgot where I was going with that. I don't even know where I was at. I was
Yeah. But
talking
it is
about.
like the just boundaries of everything.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's probably one of the downside of this industry, or really when you're self-employed in general, there is
yeah,
no turn off switch. Like you are
no.
working constantly, and you read stories all the time about people who are building their businesses or have built businesses, and oftentimes they're building their business while doing 300 other tasks to make sure that this business stays afloat. And it's wild. It's hard. It's
Yeah.
really hard.
I have had to remind myself though, like I initially got into this and got my license so long ago because I wanted to be more of like an involved parent and be the mom that picks her kids up from school and drops them off and can volunteer in the classroom. And if my kid is sick, I don't have to feel super stressed out about having to take work off and stuff. And it took me a while to become a parent, but like when I do, I feel like do you do this where you give yourself too many to-dos? Like you're the one that's
Oh
causing your
yeah.
own stress. And then like it's all these rules of like, I have to send this mailer out today and I have to da 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 da. And it's like, no, like unless it's like a current client that needs your attention, it's not really urgent. And so you still can go do the things with your family and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't
No,
like
that's
time blocking. I have though made like to do a monthly marketing to do in Trello.
uh-huh.
And I just, at the end of the month, my goal is to make sure that it all got checked off. That's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I
Oh
can't
yeah.
like
That's a
just like
great
it's
goal.
all done, then we're doing great. And that's been like super manageable. Like last month I was like super ahead of schedule and then I like took a couple days and I like did I took a nap outside. Like it was that's worked really well for me. When Evelyn's home, when my daughter's home, I can't time block. And just like a lot of interruptions and it
It's
causes me
because
so
they're
much
like
stress.
little minions that are just
Yeah.
going 1,000 miles an hour. My daughter's just reaching that stage, that preteen stage where she doesn't want to talk to me or hang out with me. So I am free from her. But my son is 100% still, a little kid that will
Mhm.
call me to make him a bowl of cereal or something. Or if he can't find something, he'll ask me to look for it.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, have you put any effort into looking for it?
No.
No? Okay. I'm not gonna put any effort in then. But
Yeah.
yeah, one of these days he'll be too old for all of that and I'll be crying because of how fast he grew.
Yeah. I know. It is hard. I know on yesterday. So I was always like very into cooking and stuff and like since I've been trying to ramp things up the last, I don't know, 8 months or something, my like cooking dinner situation has really just it's like non-existent for the most part. Like it's just not at the standard I have.
Yeah.
So, I did do a lot of meal prepping yesterday.
Did
So
you?
I did. I prepped and I used to do it all the time. It's just again, time consuming.
Yep.
And have you seen that cookbook, Cook Once, Eat All Week?
I have
And
it.
I love that book.
I have it. I have it. I don't use it as much as I probably should, but yes, I have it.
It's
And
like the greatest for like if I feel I like I prepped 3 nights for dinner, which usually will last us like 4 to 5 because it's just us and like a very small human, and then we eat them for lunches and stuff. An hour and a half. Like it's like such a
awesome.
wonder. I was like, I should really do this more often. Like I just whatever, but I did do that to like help save time for this week. So
I freaking love I meal prepped this past weekend for my breakfast and it was so awesome. And now I'm like, all right, because I've also realized that when I pre-plan my dinners or dinners first of all, I can't cook for shit. I am a terrible cook. I I am good at planning the meals and getting the things that we need for the meals. My husband is the cook because it's just
oh
he's really good at it. I suck. So I am the sous chef. He's the chef. I will dice and chop whatever I and peel whatever I need to do.
yeah,
And I'll plan the meals and I'll make sure we have all the ingredients for the meals. And then I have to send him the recipe. And he just
yeah.
like a magician, just makes it happen. I
I can
can't do that.
follow a recipe, but I can't just freehand cook a lot of things unless they're very simple, like
Oh,
stir
he can
fry type stuff.
freehand. He's one of those people that will look at our pantry of spices and be like, oh yeah, boop, 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 boop. And he'll pull all these things together and he'll have like a pan of meat cooking, of beef
That's
going
how
in.
my sister is. And but she can't follow a recipe to save her life, but
Oh,
she can like come up with her own stuff and it's great. But she's always like, I don't write it down, so I don't know how to recreate some of the
yeah.
stuff that I make. And I'm like, oh, so
Yes, that's him too. He doesn't write it down,
mm,
but he knows he goes off of like what tastes good. And I'm over here like, salt and pepper would have been really nice on this. Oops.
yeah, yeah. Oh,
Oh, but anywho, that is a good I don't really know how to like segue that into Their time management strategies.
Yeah, well, you did say time blocking, which I feel like can work if I'm not going to get interrupted. I do use time blocking for cleaning my house though sometimes.
Oh, do you?
I will like straight up use a timer and I will be like, I'm going to do whatever it is for like 10 minutes or whatever. And then I'm going to move on and clean this. And sometimes I do that and I just try to like get through as quick as I can. But
Oh man, my house has been the one that has sacrificed
yeah.
itself over the last couple of weeks. It's been so hard to keep it as clean as I'd like it to be
Yeah. You want it to look like
lately.
no one lives there.
Exactly. I want
You
my
want.
island and my table to be empty, and I want my floors to be vacuumed all the time. My favorite thing about my house is how, like, my favorite thing to do when I clean, I love vacuuming. I love
Ah,
vacuuming. And so I used to vacuum my living room every day.
yeah,
Every day. And now it's just been like, ugh,
I know.
it's like once a week now, and it drives me nuts. But I do like my little shark. I got a little shark vacuum that vacuums my kitchen every day, and it goes line by line, and it self empties, and I'm obsessed with it. Keeps my kitchen super duper clean.
I
So
had a Roomba, but my dog, I have an, as you know, a full size Australian Shepherd. He shed so much. We were running it every day, and every day I had to rip out all of the hair that it would pick up from him. And so I just try to vacuum every day, and it's
oh
very
God.
annoying.
Did I tell you about the time I had a client that was her house was listed to sell? I was listing it, and she called me one day and she's like, "Amy, my vacuum ran over my dog's poop and I have poop all over my
Yes,
floor." And I was like,
tell it again
"What?
though, because it's funny.
Shut up. Are you serious?" And she was like, "Yes, I have to go get my vacuums deep cleaned. There's poop streaks." And she had white carpet
Oh,
and poop streaks throughout her house. And I was like, "Oh my God, that'd be
so
terrible."
funny and
Mhm.
gross, but it's
Yeah,
fun. Yeah, I
absolutely.
was always worried because we had like a little before we had Ollie, we had like a really little rat terrier. And I was always worried. Every now and then she would have an accident, but it did cross my mind where because I would run it at night when we would go upstairs and go to sleep. Like, I hope that one day she doesn't poop and I don't know. And then the vacuum just like, like I did think it never happened, but I that thought did cross my mind.
Oh, it definitely happened for my client.
Yeah.
And it was just a moment of terror and chaos. I was listening unfold as it
Hmm.
unfolded. It's like, oh God,
Yeah. No.
no,
I
it's
know
very
that we were
exciting.
talking about like workout schedules and how you wake up at 4 in the morning.
I do. Not every day of the week though. So
Okay.
don't make a comment about that. But
Ugh.
yeah, I wake up, I because I have to have, I mean, I've been in the gym since I was a kid. When I say kid, I mean high school. I've been working out and playing
Mm.
sports since freshman year of high school. Well, really since before that, but that's when I started going to the gym. Um, and especially now that I've got two kids and real estate life is um can be as taxing as it is. It's the gym is my me time. Like the gym
Yeah.
is my time to myself during the day where nobody gets to interrupt me.
Yeah.
Nobody gets to call me or panic on me or like it is just me, myself, and the people that I'm working out with that morning.
Are
And
you doing
so
classes or are you doing like your own stuff at like a Globo gym type
oh
situation?
no, I'm doing classes, but they are so Monday, Wednesday, Friday we lift heavy. Like today we did deadlifts and what else did we do? Just some accessory work. Um and then Wednesdays, I can't remember what we'll do on Wednesday, but Monday, Wednesday, Friday we lift weights, like proper lifting. They watch our form. They've got our workout planned on the board and we move through it all together with our partners or whoever we're working out with. And there's like 12 different stations. And when I say stations, I mean barbells,
Mhm.
weights, racks, stuff like that. Um, and we move through the workouts together. And then Tuesday, Thursdays are HIIT workouts, which is intensity interval training, um, which is like a cardio workout for anybody that doesn't know what a HIIT workout is. And they're terrible, and I hate them because I get my ass handed to me every single time, which means they're good. But yeah, I wake up at my alarm goes off at 4:10, and I
When
am
do you go to
out the,
bed?
huh?
What time do you go to bed?
It just depends on the night.
Oh
Some day,
my
like I
gosh.
was in bed by 9 o'clock last night.
Oh, that's pretty good. Oh gosh, I hate waking up early.
But
I
I've
hate
also realized
sick.
that like if 6 hours is my sleep, 6 hours and my body is good. So if I go to bed at 10 and wake up at 4, I'm fine. I'm good.
Really? I'm
Yeah.
not fine. Do your
I
kids wake you up in the middle of the night? Because my
fuck
daughter,
yeah. Oh my
I always have to
God.
climb in her bed and then I don't sleep. Then I'm laying
Oh,
looking at the ceiling.
I do have a rule in our house that because I have realized that I am a better parent when I get my sleep.
Yeah.
But there's no, like, I won't share my bed with my kids.
Oh no.
So, yeah. So, like, the other night, was that last night? It was either last night or the night before. Elijah came into our bed, into our room because he had a nightmare. And I was like, all right, well, here, take my spot. And I let him sleep with my husband, and I went down and slept on the
Yeah.
couch. I need my sleep, or else I'm going to
Yeah.
melt down.
Yeah. My
And
daughter, she has a full bed, full size bed. And so that two bodies can like fit because
hmm
of that. If I am sleep deprived, I don't do well. But I've just never been like an early riser. Uh,
mm. Yeah, see, and I can't hang at night either. I have always been a morning person, and Elijah is my morning person too. That kid still wakes up at like 6 a.m.
yeah.
without anything. But my husband is not, he's the night owl between the two of us. My daughter is a night owl, and then you've got Elijah and I who like wake
Mhm.
up with the sun.
Yeah. No, no. Um, because like I was telling you, like I've been doing like street parking CrossFit type workouts since like 2013. No,
hmm
2014. Um, but I've been doing like at home for a couple years. And then I decided to try to go to the local gym that I used to go to out here. And I just couldn't with like time management. I could not handle the driving there, the hour workout, the driving home. I was like, this is so time consuming.
Yeah. It is
After
about, by the
today,
time I get home, it's been about 2 hours since I've been gone. Because
yeah,
we're like 20, I mean, I'm glad you told me that your drive was like 20 minutes because I have gotten so used to living in such a small town that when I started going to my gym, I was like, oh my God, it's a 26-minute drive for me.
yeah,
And now it's like, all right, whatever. I usually call my mom because they're in a different time zone and she's
yeah,
awake at she's central, so it's like 6:30 her time and she's getting ready for work and I'm driving my happy ass to the gym at 4:30.
yeah,
Um but yeah, it's like 4:30 and I get home around 6:30. It's about two
yeah.
solid
It's just like,
hours.
my gosh, it's like so much time. Like I could, but I do like it. Maybe my daughter's in like regular school, but like, I'm like, gosh, that's like so much time during the week. Like I could get so much done in that other hour. And then the 40 minutes driving, like I could just do like a really intense 30-minute workout and just like
Oh yeah.
move
And
on.
I like
Hey,
I justify it because am I going to do anything else from 4:30 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. aside from sleep? Probably not. Every so often I'll be up because I'm just naturally awake and I'll start working at like
mhm.
5:30, but for the most part I'm not reaching out to clients at those hours.
No.
Maybe I'm sending some emails, but if I'm
You,
working,
oh, I want to ask you this.
what?
So, do you schedule your emails to be sent at appropriate times of the day or
No,
like your
fuck no.
text messages?
If it's a
Because
text message, that will be like a pre-planned time of day send. If it's an email, I give zero Fs on what time
no,
I
I
send an email.
because I don't like to know, I don't like my clients, like if I'm working late at night, I don't want them to know I'm up. And so I have Gmail will like allow you to like schedule it.
Oh,
And so it
uh-huh.
will, I'll put like 8 a.m. tomorrow, unless it's like urgent, but it rarely ever is. But now your iPhone also has that option where you can schedule text to be sent at later days and times.
Oh, I did not. I didn't know
No?
that. No, I didn't know that. I'm gonna have
Oh,
to Google
it's
it.
quite great. It like if
I'm
you're like, oh, I need to text my seller tomorrow to whatever, you just schedule it now and pick the time and they get it
Ooh, you're gonna have
as long as
to.
they don't have Android.
Oh, okay. You'll have to show me how to do that because I did not know you could do that.
Yeah.
I will say I am very good at my phone 9 times out of 10 is the ringer is off and the vibration is off. So unless I have my watch on, I don't know anything that's going on my phone. So the
That's
only
really good.
most of my notifications that happen on my phone, I know have come through because my watch vibrates and tells me my notification. So when my watch comes off at the end of the day,
Mhm.
it's how the hell am I going to get a hold of Amy? And I'm kind of okay with that because that's how I shut down. That's how I shut off, you know. I've had
Yeah.
fucking clients call me at 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, no.
Like I don't have the mental capacity to answer any question that you might have right now.
I remember when again, with like the boundary, there's no boundaries. I remember when it was like the first year I had my license. I had a listing and an agent called me at 11 o'clock at night. And I'm an idiot. I would never answer this now. But I answered the phone and she called me to tell me that her clients want to cancel. I could not go back to sleep after this, like, spring leg is bothering me. After that call, like I just laid there and was like, oh no, I have to tell them. And like it just like, why are you awake at that time calling me? But mhm,
Yeah. I mm-mm. I don't after 9 o'clock it gets iffy to get a hold of me and before 8 a.m. I'm not gonna answer anything.
yeah.
Not happening. I
Mhm.
will respond if I need to or if I can, but phone calls 9 p.m. to 8 a.m. I'm not touching.
Not there. Yeah. I
Can
agree.
we press pause so I can run to the restroom real quick?
Yes. Let me pause.
Okay.
Okay, we're back and we had to take a little break. Um,
Good.
but I will say so like when it comes to like having clients, I feel like that time management, I don't have an issue with it because it kind of just has its own natural timelines that are just, kind of there for everyone. You figure out what days your clients can go look at houses. You have a seller, showings get scheduled when they get scheduled, open houses get scheduled when they get scheduled. Once you get into escrow, you have time frames for all that. So that's like the easy part to me for like managing time. But it is very easy to fall down like a rabbit hole of like marketing ideas, content creation, coming up with a template in Canva for like, I don't know, like what I want my new letter, because I kind of rebranded a little bit, I guess,
Hmm.
like what I want my new letterhead to.
What happened?
I accidentally hit the pause button. I'm sorry. When I went like I moved my hand, I
Yeah.
hit the button. I won't do that again.
Okay.
Um, but like it's easy to go down rabbit holes from that, and it's like this never ending or like reaching out like to your database. I mean, like there's just like so many things to do before you get the client, and like that's where my boundaries I have issues with of like turning off my work mode because there's
Mm.
no like it's not like okay we signed the disclosures where there's nothing to do right now. It's like you know what I mean. There's just
Oh
a
yeah.
constant like whatever that you're working on, a podcast, a blog post, a email, a mailer, a whatever, social
Oh,
media post. Yeah.
yes. And you're sitting there, like, I don't know if you do this, but I definitely do, where I'll be like, all right, I've got this in the hopper, this is pending, this just is about to close or will close. And then I start thinking about, like, well, shit, over the course of the next 2 months, these things are going to be done and I don't have anything in the hopper, like I'm already thinking 3 or 4 months down the line, how do
Yeah.
I get more into the hopper so that I'm not like, just piddling my thumbs?
Dun, dun, No,
Uh,
it's true though,
you,
because it's like once you get a client, it's so easy to like turn off the marketing side. But then
mm-hmm.
it's like when that closes, then you're like, oh no,
Oh
I
shit.
have to keep
Yeah.
going. So like the key is to never stop.
Yeah.
But again, like I'm working right now on having boundaries as to how much I do every day because I'm just like, like I have a listing, I have an escrow that's kind of on hold right now, and then I have another listing coming up. So like there's no direct work to be done at the moment with those.
Mm-hmm.
I might have another one, but there's nothing like, yeah, at this time. And so I'm like, well, I'll just, and as we both know, the stats for agents last year is not good. Um, and it's the market's a little tough, and so we have to work harder. And yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
just where
so
my
fucking
struggle
hard.
is lately.
This is a very hard job. I mean,
Yeah.
I think anybody who is self-employed probably has this sort of issue,
Yeah. My
finding
sister
your
is like,
business.
sometimes I'll talk to her and she's like, why are you doubting yourself? Like you've had your license for 9 years
Oh
and
my
you've
God, your
always
sister's
done
such a good
fine.
person.
But it's hard to not, you know what I mean? Like,
It's
yeah,
called imposter syndrome.
sometimes, yeah,
Everybody gets it. I deal with it a lot. But I'm with your sister. Why would you doubt yourself?
I know. But it is easy, especially, I don't know. What's hard is I've had like, there was, what was it, 2022? I can't remember what year, somewhat recent. And I'm not even kidding you, 6 months, I had nothing. And I was like, like, what's happening? And then I had, I don't know, like 13 transactions in the last 6 months.
Oh, that's
And I was
awesome.
like, and then I was like, oh, I don't have to panic. So you just don't even know sometimes, like, when things are
Yeah.
going to happen, where they're going to come from. Yeah, it's just,
Nope, I'm
yeah.
with you. It's
Yeah.
tough. It's a hard industry to be in because it can be so inconsistent.
Mhm. It makes me wonder, and I try to tell myself, I'm like, well, you're not going anywhere. Like, I'm not getting another job. I'm not like I'm here for whatever this looks like. This is what I do, but I wonder, like, all of the agents that got their license in 2020, I wonder, I mean, I know a few of them that are like, I don't think I can keep doing this because now things are kind of a little bit more normal. It's not as easy to sell houses, and I just feel like that would be hard to come from the 2020 times to now and have like a
Yeah.
real perspective on like what it's actually like. 'Cause it
Yeah,
takes
that it's
work.
not
Yeah.
all rainbows and butterflies.
No.
And
Like you said, my goal is to like when things start to pop off, hopefully, like, get a little bit better. I don't really want to go back to 2020, but I want to be the first thing that comes into everyone's mind. Like,
yeah,
I'm not trying to convert someone today. It's probably months from now. And so that's the thing too, is like understanding it's like a long game.
yeah. And the long game is the hardest game because it's the industry is also always changing.
Yeah. I mean, I had people in my database that I mailed things to for 6 years before they ever, and then eventually they just called me one day and I was about to take them out and stop sending them stuff because I didn't think
They
that
don't
they
hear it.
cared.
Yeah.
And then they called and like I was like, "Oh, okay." So it's it's such a long game and you just don't know when those seeds you planted are gonna bloom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But, yeah.
Well, what else do we have on the docket?
Um, hmm. How do you organize your like clients in your sphere? Like, are they in a CRM or do you have them like me in a spreadsheet that is very
They
central?
were in a CRM.
Oh, that.
Um,
Oh, oh, that's right.
I have currently adopted your Microsoft Excel
Yeah.
cheat thing. So most like that is currently in a work in progress. For people that don't know, I
Yeah.
lost my CRM because my brokerage is changing programs and I lost all of my contacts for my business. So that sucked. Um, And so now I am just kind of operating off of the socials and
Yeah.
referrals. Um, but it is what it is. It, it's it's just part of the game. It's one of those things where it's you take it in stride and you're constantly just, all right, this happened. I feel like, I mean, it's like in a real estate transaction when shit goes sideways, you're just like, all right, well, this sucks.
Yeah.
Still, I'm just, we're not gonna stop operating because of
No.
this. Just have to figure out a way around my new hurdle, which
Hmm.
is, I mean, for me, you have to go back through my computer and see if I had randomly downloaded my database at some point in time. Um, I'm hoping I did. I know I did at least once in the last 6 years,
Hmm.
but that was, I don't know how long ago that would have been,
Yeah.
and it just sucks to have.
I've been working my spreadsheet off of Google Sheets lately, and I
Yeah.
like it because it's like in a cloud, and then I will occasionally save it, but it just kind of saves it as you go. Because I was like, what if my computer like died? It has to be backed up
do we
somewhere.
do we need to have that conversation? I understand that feeling.
I know I'm really hitting all the soft spot or whatever pressure points right now. Sorry,
So,
but it's
for
true.
those that don't know, over Christmas break, my beautiful, sweet, lovely youngest child spilled water all over my computer and didn't tell me about it.
R.I.P.
And so I opened it up one day because I had a client asking me about a property and it wouldn't turn on. And I found out the hard way that he had spilled water on it. So 20 after it had been 24 hours since he did it, I opened it up and there was standing water inside my computer. 24 hours after the water had spilled in it. So I was out of computer for like a week, and that was the longest, most terrible week in the last year.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah. No.
Oh God.
I
Anyhow.
know.
Well, where are we at? What do we have left?
Um, I think we're kind of done unless I don't think I have any like time management things I want to implement. I really do like my checklist because I just kind of get through it every week, and then ideally have it all checked off by the end of the month. But yeah, I don't know, I think that's it.
I
We
would
have
agree with you. We touched on just about everything.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, cool. Well, shall we sign off?
Yeah, sure. If you want to follow me on Instagram, all of my contact information will be in the show notes. Just put it simple enough there.
And same here. If you would like to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is at Amy BLLCK, and my Facebook is at Amy Bullock Ree. And yeah, contact info if you're looking to move to Central Oregon will be at the bottom of this podcast. And vice versa with Kim if you're looking to move to LA County. What's
Yeah.
up?
Um,
Shout out to Palmdale. She doesn't live in Palmdale. She grew up in Palmdale, right?
yeah, I'm still there all the time, but that's funny. Yes.
Yeah, hit us up. We'll get you squared away.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you for your
right.
time. And if you have any input on the podcast, let us know. Send us some
Yeah.
questions. Send us
Any
some
topics,
stuff that you
whatever.
want to hear us talk about.
Do you remember our podcast email?
Yes, it's laughing our way through escrow at gmail.com.
Okay, so you could send it there.
You can send any questions, comments, concerns to laughing our way through escrow at gmail.com, where you can get a hold of both of us in one email. So
Yep.
anything
And
you have, give us a holler.
Yes, and if you also need help finding an agent in another state, we can help you with that too. So just email us there and we'll get you connected.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for joining us today and have an awesome day. Whatever
Yay. All
time
right.
of day you're having.
Bye.
Bye. Don't know what to say.